What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to another evening with a therapeutic edge. I'm out here on my patio tonight, just having a good time talking about knives. On the table in front of us is the Eafengrow EF901. This is a beast of a knife. This thing is huge, man. Now, it is titanium, TC4, it is running on bearings. The blade is D2 steel. Now, I know that Eafengrow in particular has a bad reputation with their D2, but interestingly enough, one of the things they said when they released this on Instagram was, you can test it, and I won't, but I believe them. I think that every Chinese company is coming to understand that thanks to the efforts of channels like Love Them Knives and some of the people on Instagram, that we're going to test their stuff and find out what it's really made of. Now, I'm not gonna, because quite frankly, I'm not going to carry this knife for anything other than its fun factor, and it is fun. This thing is a brute. Let's do a couple of size comparisons, just because it's what I've had on the table for the last couple of nights. This is the wee Roxy. As you can see, it is much bigger than that. All right, let's try something a little more sensibly sized. Let's try it up against a personal favorite of mine, the ADV Pathfinder. It is bigger than the Pathfinder. It's not longer, but it is thicker, and it is certainly heavier than the Pathfinder. And how about a knife that more of you are likely to have seen? This is the Manix 2 Lightweight. And as you can see, it just dwarfs, no matter how you put it, it just dwarfs the Manix. This is a big knife. It weighs 9.6 ounces, so it's coming up on 10 ounces. It is, as I said, D2 steel. The action on these things is so good. You can finger flick it with that hole. You can use the flipper. The detent on these is remarkably good. I love this thing. I know I'm going to get some flack because, hey, look, it's another big Chinese knife on a Therapeutic Edges table. But as I've said, I don't mind that. And I actually seek them out because this was $69 on Amazon. Now, what can I compare it against? Well, this is the YX 650. This is also D2 and TC4 titanium. This was nearly $100. Now, is this a better knife? Yeah, probably. I know I've used this one quite a bit more, and as I said in a review on this knife, the blade steel has not let me down. This is, in every regard, as D2 as any D2 I've got. But since I'm not going to be using this thing in any real way, I mean, look, I've carried this thing to the office, and it is a hoot. You break this thing out at the lunch table, and people lose their minds. But let's spend a few minutes with what it really offers. Look at the design on this thing. It's kind of beautiful in its big, chunky way, and it is sharp, by the way. And because of this high flat grind and nice thick D2 steel, you get a lot of really secure tip. It's very pointy, and it is very thin behind the edge. Now, I don't have my calipers out here, but it really does cut through things like crazy. I mean, I have used it in the way that I use most knives, and it has never let me down. If you're interested in big, huge knives that are just fun to hold, fun to carry, fun to look at, certainly fun to play with, that also work, the Eafengrow EF series is just a great set of knives. I have them all, and you'll see them all on this channel eventually. Interestingly enough, if you look up the EF901, you will find an older, much smaller knife that I don't actually have on the table with me right now, but they've actually repurposed the EF901 name for this. This is in their new line of enormous EF knives, and I highly recommend it. If you're into knives that are just fun and attractive and well made, you cannot go wrong with this. You really can't. The hardware is steel. The backspacer are titanium. The clip is titanium. The scales are titanium, and they are, let's see if we can see in there at all. And we can't. Oh, a little bit. Not milled at all. Those big chunks of titanium are solid. There's a little milling here on the outside, but that is mostly visual aesthetic. This knife is, oh, I just love it for what it is. I'll go so far as to say that it's beautiful. I really will. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching tonight. Once again, this has been the EF901 by Eafengrow. I do not recommend Eafengrow as a company as a whole, but they have a select few knives that I will bring to the table that I have bought and experienced, and that's enough for me. I cannot tell you to buy all their knives. I can tell you about the knives that I have had that have worked, and how well they've worked, and how well the steel has held up. Beyond that, you're on your own. But for these knives, like I said, I can totally recommend this knife if it's your thing. And it probably won't be. This is a fairly unique style. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. If you have any questions about this or any of the knives that have been on the table today, feel free to ask down in the comments, and I will see you next time.